Hello everyone. Welcome back to the What's Up Today show. Today we're bringing you a full breakdown of the dramatic and dynamic 2024 U.S. presidential election, a day marked by strong voter turnout, celebration, and of course, some chaos. The election has brought about a whirlwind of emotions, from Trump supporters celebrating significant victories to Democratic supporters anxiously watching the results unfold. Let's dive deep into the developments across the country and give you a full picture of what's happening in this pivotal moment in U.S. history. America votes. A day of high tensions and high hopes. Election Day 2024 saw record numbers of Americans going to the polls to vote. The atmosphere across the country was charged with anticipation and a sense of purpose, as millions of citizens headed to polling stations or mailed in their ballots, with critical issues on the line, from economic policies and healthcare to national security and social justice. The stakes of this election felt exceptionally high for voters across all demographics. In major cities and small towns alike, polling stations saw long lines as people waited to exercise their right to vote. The turnout highlighted the passion and urgency Americans felt regarding the direction of the nation. In states like Florida, Texas, and Pennsylvania, turnout rates were especially high, showcasing the competitive nature of this year's race. Election officials worked around the clock to ensure a smooth process, but even with additional resources, certain states faced challenges, especially as Election Day wore on and excitement turned to exhaustion. Celebrations and reactions. A divided America in the streets. As results began to trickle in, different groups across the country gathered to watch, celebrate, or contemplate the numbers. In Florida, for example, Trump supporters gathered in the streets to celebrate his reported lead in the state. Hundreds took to their vehicles, honking horns and waving flags, turning election night into a full-blown parade. Trump's victory in Florida was a symbolic win, representing a stronghold for the former president and highlighting a state that has become increasingly conservative in recent years. The celebratory atmosphere was electric, with supporters proudly chanting slogans, donning Trump apparel, and celebrating what they saw as a path to reclaiming the White House. In contrast, Democratic supporters observed the early returns with quiet gatherings. For many Democrats, this election represented hope for a shift in leadership and a fresh perspective on issues such as climate change, social equality, and healthcare reform. Gathering at homes, cafes, and public venues, Democrats kept their eyes glued to screens, analyzing each result and hoping for favorable outcomes in the remaining battleground states. For them, the night was one of reflection and patience, understanding that the final outcome may take days to confirm due to the vast numbers of mail-in ballots still being counted. Trump declares victory in Florida and addresses supporters. Donald Trump held a celebration event in Florida, marking a significant moment in his campaign. Trump's speech to his supporters was filled with optimism and confidence. He thanked his supporters for their dedication and acknowledged the importance of their efforts, claiming that they were making history. For Trump and his base, Florida's victory was a powerful signal, reinforcing the idea of a strong comeback and reigniting his stance on restoring what he calls the American way. Trump emphasized traditional values and patriotism, praising his supporters for standing behind his campaign during what he described as a critical moment for the country. His speech was filled with references to his vision of America, one focused on economic prosperity, national security, and a strong, self-sufficient nation. Trump also took a moment to address issues like border security and the economy, reiterating his commitment to these topics as cornerstones of his leadership. As Trump continued his speech, his supporters erupted in cheers, energizing the crowd and building excitement for the upcoming final results. Polling issues and challenges in key states. Not every state, however, experienced smooth sailing. In Nevada, a significant number of younger voters faced an unexpected challenge: the requirement to sign their ballots correctly. Many of these first-time voters didn't know that their signature needed to match previous records or IDs, resulting in numerous ballots being flagged and temporarily disqualified. This situation quickly gained attention, with state officials stepping in to educate voters on how to properly complete their ballots. In response, Nevada election officials established additional help centers to assist young voters and make the necessary corrections. This highlighted an ongoing issue with voter education, especially among first-time voters. Some advocacy groups pointed out that these kinds of procedural mistakes could be mitigated with better voter information campaigns, potentially paving the way for improvements in future elections. High market volatility and Bitcoin's surge. The 2024 election results have also impacted financial markets, with Bitcoin making headlines for its unexpected jump to $71,500. Analysts attribute this spike to investor reactions to Trump's early successes, as many believe that his pro-business policies might favor a thriving economy. Bitcoin's value tends to fluctuate during times of political uncertainty, and Trump's victories led to a surge in high-risk investments as a means of hedging against potential economic shifts. This surge reflected a growing sense among investors that Trump's policies could benefit financial markets, at least in the short term. Other markets also experienced fluctuations, with stock indexes reacting as news of Trump's progress spread. For many businesses and investors, this election has been one of the most closely watched in recent history, given its implications for future regulations, international trade, and economic policy. Immigrant support for Trump, a complex picture. Interestingly, this election has also shown support for Trump from various immigrant communities. Several immigrant voters have voiced their reasons for choosing him, often citing his focus on law and order, economic stability, and security. For these voters, Trump's policies represent a pathway to a stable, prosperous life, and they feel that his approach to law enforcement and economic growth aligns with their aspirations for a secure future. This support highlights the complexity of American politics, where diverse groups make decisions based on personal priorities rather than following a particular demographic trend. For these immigrants, Trump's policies offer an appealing framework for success, reflecting their hopes for a secure, opportunity-rich America. Anticipation and anxiety as the vote count continues. While Trump supporters celebrate, the election remains unresolved in many key states, with both parties bracing for a potentially prolonged counting process. Absentee ballots and mail-in votes are still being processed, especially in battleground states like Pennsylvania and Arizona, where margins are tight and every vote could make a difference. Election officials have emphasized the importance of patience, as counting each ballot accurately takes time, and the final outcomes could still shift as more votes are tallied. The Democratic Party is holding on to hope that these outstanding ballots could sway in their favor, especially in states that tend to lean Democratic in mail-in voting trends. Leaders from both parties have urged their supporters to remain calm and trust the process, acknowledging that this election's final decision may take days, if not longer, to conclude. Closing reflections: a divided nation awaits final results. The 2024 presidential election has highlighted the divisions in American society more clearly than ever. With Donald Trump's supporters rallying in celebration and Democratic supporters cautiously awaiting final counts, the election underscores the contrasting visions for America's future. Trump's initial victories have brought renewed enthusiasm to his base, while the ongoing vote count has given hope to those eager for a change in leadership. As the nation waits, the impact of this election will likely be felt for years to come. This election is about more than just political ideology. It's about the core values and future direction of the United States. It represents a battle between different approaches to governance, economics, social policy, and international relations. And no matter the final outcome, the events of 2024 will be remembered as a defining moment in American history. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us for this detailed look at the unfolding events of the 2024 U.S. presidential election. As the results continue to come in, stay tuned for further updates on this monumental election. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. What are your predictions for the final results? And how do you think these early victories for Trump will shape the remainder of the vote count? We look forward to hearing from you. Until next time, stay informed, stay engaged, and take care.